The views expressed in this blog are hosted on my own website, are strictly personal, and do not reflect the views of any organization. Hello and welcome once again to Straight Bat, my weekly video blog where, as the title suggests, I comment with a straight bat. This week I thought in the midst of election season I would reflect upon an issue that generates a lot of noise and debate: dynasty politics. Now, for years now, one of the strongest critiques that the ruling BJP has had about the opposition Congress and indeed a slew of regional parties in this country is that these parties are run like family fiefdoms, that these parties have a Shehzada culture, a princeling culture, which Narendra Modi used very successfully while targeting Rahul Gandhi in 2014 as a Namdar versus Kamdar battle in a sense. It's a powerful narrative because it is so true. The fact is, a number of parties in this country are run on the principle that all is in the family. So this week, when the BJP decided that it would not give a ticket in Panjim in Goa to Utpal Parikar, the son of Manohar Parikar, it seemed that the BJP was proving its point that it is a party with a difference, a party that does not believe that simply because you have a family surname, you have a divine right to get a party election ticket. Only it's not so simple. Let me tell you why. The Panjim seat has gone to the infamous Babush Montserrat, a Congress defector with a criminal record who switched to the BJP in 2019. Babush's wife, Jennifer, has got the neighboring constituency to Panjim, Talegaon. She's a minister also. And Babush's son is the mayor of Panjim. So in a way, it's not as if Utpal Parikar is being dropped for a meritocrat. But as they say in Panjim at the moment, the new BJP is the Babush Jennifer party, at least in Panjim. So you have an Utpal Parikar telling me in an interview, and I'll quote him here, "Why is dynasty only raised when I asked for a ticket? How come a husband-wife-son monopoly is okay and I am not?" This is what the late Manohar Parikar's son, the defense minister, son Utpal, told me. And he's right in a way, because there are at least 4 husband-wife couples in Goa alone. 2 of them are with the BJP. And this is also interesting because in Delhi, the central leadership of the BJP had claimed apparently that there would be only 1 ticket given per family, or at least that was what the BJP leader of UP, Rita Bahuguna Joshi, was told when she was pushing for a ticket for her son in the assembly elections. It almost seems as if the rules for Goa are different. Here, electability matters more than anything else. So Utpal Parikar was seen as less electable than Babush Montserrat. Let me also tell you that I have found out that Utpal Parikar was offered 2 other seats of his choice in Goa, not Panjim. He could take 2 other seats. So it's not as if the dynasty principle was not being followed in this case. Let's also take a look in this new BJP at some other new recruits. The latest being RPN Singh, recruits who've come from the Congress. Now, RPN Singh was a union minister in the Manmohan Singh government, and at that time the BJP branded the likes of RPN Singh as the Baba Log from Lutyens, Delhi, who were surrounding Rahul Gandhi, the Rahul Brigade. Now the same RPN Singh becomes a Kurmi leader from eastern UP, who the BJP hopes will take on Swami Prasad Maurya, the defector who left the BJP to join the Samajwadi Party ahead of the elections. And it's not just RPN, he's not alone. The original blue-blooded Jyotiraditya Scindia, son of the late Madhav Rao Scindia, joined the BJP and is suddenly seen as their Gen Next. Well, when he was in the Congress, I recall during the Madhya Pradesh elections of 2018, the BJP targeted him as Maharaj. So he's Maharaj when he's in the Congress. When he's in the BJP, he's a Gen Next face. Take also the case of Jitin Prasada, who again was part of Manmohan Singh's government, part of Rahul's brigade, and targeted again as the Babalog brigade. The moment he joins the BJP, he becomes a Brahmin face of the party from UP. Net, the point I'm trying to make somewhere is that it almost seems the moment you shift from the Congress to the BJP, you can automatically and immediately shed your dynasty tag. Let's take a look at the Union cabinet of Prime Minister Modi. Piyush Goyal, the high-profile leader from Mumbai, is the son of the late Ved Prakash Goyal, who was a treasurer of the BJP. Anurag Thakur, the information and broadcasting and sports minister, is the son of the former Himachal Pradesh Chief Minister Prem Kumar Dhumal. Dharmendra Pradhan is the son of Debnath Pradhan, who was a minister in the Vajpayee government. You can again look at chief ministers of the BJP. Basavarao Bommai in Karnataka is the son of the late Janata Dal leader S.R. Bommai. Pema Khandu, the Arunachal chief minister, is the son of the late Dorji Khandu, who tragically died in a chopper crash. Devendra Fadnavis, the former Maharashtra chief minister, is the son of Gangadhar Fadnavis, who was a BJP member in the Maharashtra Legislative Council. In fact, according to one recent report, 45 of the BJP MPs in Parliament, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, or around 11%, have a clear dynastic background. Neeraj Shekhar, who joined the BJP not too long ago, is the son of the late Prime Minister Chandrasekhar. He switched from the Samajwadi Party and joined the BJP. And we can go on and on. Poonam Mahajan, daughter of the late Pramod Mahajan. Dushyant Singh, son of Vasundhara Raje, former Chief Minister of Rajasthan, herself the daughter of Vijay Raje Scindia, one of the founders of the Jansangh. Jayant Sinha, son of Yashwant Sinha. Varun Gandhi, son of Menka and Sanjay Gandhi. Parvesh Verma, son of the late Sahib Singh Verma, Chief Minister of Delhi. Pritam Munde, daughter of the late Gopinath Munde. Rita Bahuguna Joshi from the Himvati Nandan Bahuguna family in the Congress. Rajveer Singh, son of former UP Chief Minister Kalyan Singh. The list of all these BJP MPs with strong family connections appears to be getting longer. And in this election too, there are dozens of BJP candidates who are being linked to political families, especially in Uttar Pradesh. Now, nothing wrong, you may argue, at one level. Many of the politicians that I mentioned here are talented, successful, have fought elections, some more than once. But let's also be honest. In a country of 1.38 billion people, in a fiercely competitive world like politics, having a family member does help. And this cuts across all the parties with the possible exception of the left. So you'll have the Yadavs of the Samajwadi Party and the Rashtriya Janata Dal. You'll have the Karnanidhi family of the DMK. You'll have the Badals of the Akali Dal. You'll have the Abdullahs of the National Conference. And of course, you'll have the grand old party, the Congress of the Gandhis, where again it appears that the top post is reserved for one family. Even if a Sachin Pilot, for example, wants to compete for that top post, he too is a dynast in a way because he's the son of Rajesh Pilot. There is one difference, of course, that the BJP can claim, that while they too are now increasingly giving tickets to relatives of prominent BJP leaders, the top post in the BJP, unlike in the Congress, is not reserved for a family. Whether that was in the Atal Bihari Vajpayee Advani era or indeed now in the Modi Shah era. The top post, unlike the Congress in particular or these regional parties, is not reserved for one family. And to that extent, the BJP can claim to be a party with a difference. But let's be clear, as I've given these names, there is an increasing feeling that family matters even in the BJP today. Let me though ask you also a tricky question towards the end. Would a Jai Shah, son of Home Minister Amit Shah, have become the all-powerful BCCI secretary and now the president of the Asian Cricket Council if he was not the son of the Home Minister? Truth is, my friends, family networks do confer privileges on a small elite across professions, especially in politics, but in other professions too. The one exception, interestingly, is perhaps sport. My father was a distinguished test cricketer. His father was a small landholder and an insurance agent who had never held a cricket bat. I desperately wanted to be an India cricketer. but just didn't have the talent, wasn't good enough. As my father would tell me, once you are on the crease, you have to make the runs. I can't make them for you. He was right. You see, talent for sport doesn't necessarily run in the blood. You can't play for India simply because your father did. You can, however, have a relatively soft landing in politics because one of your parents is in politics. And remember also, when you're like me, not really very good at anything, there is always journalism. That was the straight bat. Do of course subscribe to my YouTube channel for many more such videos. For now, stay well, stay safe. Namaskar, Jai Hind.